Well, hey, welcome to our AE On Demand podcast that we're bringing back after about a year and a half or so. And I'm just going to cut to the chase here. We have Sabrina Moore in our office today who just presented to our community college board on the impact of adult ed in her life. And so we're just going to try to talk to her today and talk about all the great things that adult education is doing with us celebrating the national initiative of Adult Education Week next week. So Sabrina, thank you so much for joining us. Did you think that when you came today that you were going to speak to the board and then jump on an impromptu podcast about your life?
No, I wasn't expecting it, but I'm very honored to do so. I know we talked about trying to do this like, I don't know, a year and a half or so ago when our schedules didn't work out. So I'm glad we're finally getting to do so. I enjoyed getting to speak today. I'm very thankful too.
Well, we're glad to have you. Yeah, so let's just back it up a couple of years. I heard you at graduation. You spoke at Holmes' graduation, and I think I cried the whole end of it. I just walked away from there so inspired from that. So you don't have to go into great detail, of course, but why don't you just kind of give us an idea of maybe your track, your life experiences that kind of brought you into the adult ed program, to give our audience an idea of, because you're in the adult ed classroom now, so you see these students, so you were one of them. It's kind of to give that experience of what brought you to our programs.
So as a child, I come from a broken home. Both of my parents went through a lot of stuff. And, I think a lot of people relate to that because a lot of people come from broken homes nowadays and poor families. I have been working since I was 12 years old, to help buy groceries for my younger siblings and things like that. So I didn't have much of a childhood. I had to grow up really fast, be an adult when I was a kid, take care of my younger siblings, and try to kind of be there for my parents who were kind of just dealing with their own stuff. And for one reason or another, both of them were out of my lives at different points when I was a child. So I was with a grandparent that wasn't the greatest situation, and all three of us dealt with a lot of abuse, whether it's physical or mental. So there's a lot of obstacles. We didn't go to school. We were homeschooled.
Right.
But I probably had a 6th, 7th grade education at 17 years old. So I ended up running away when I was like 15 years old. Got picked up by a sheriff's car and, almost went to juvie, like was really close to, going down that route, maybe being put in foster care system.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so thankful that ended up not happening by the grace of God. But I was an angry teenager. I didn't have much hope. I didn't see the point of education. I felt pretty hopeless. I didn't feel like anybody really cared about me. Felt like nobody was really there for me. As a kid, I had to be there for everybody else. So I didn't know what was out there being sheltered, and I didn't know what my life was going to be like. But I was in this homeschool program where we went in twice a week to take tests, and we were supposed to do our work from home, and we really weren't learning anything. So I made the decision to quit. A lady I was working on a farm for mentioned a GED program, a GED class that was in Kosciuszko. So I decided I'm going to quit this school. I'm going to go there and get my GED so I can at least get me a job in town, because even fast food restaurants were kind of requiring like a GED just to get a job.
Right, absolutely.
And I was like, I know I've got to do something different besides farm work.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that one day I want a family, so I've got to at least have that.
Mm-hmm.
And I really thought that was as far as I would go. I had no intentions of going to college. So I decided to go to this GED program. I withdraw from this homeschool program I'm in. And the lady looked at me and told me I would do nothing but flip burgers at McDonald's, and I would never do anything with my life.
Well, I've heard you say that a couple of times. Like I said, I've heard you speak a couple of times. And so how hard is it to hear that and have to overcome that, and then to still have that within yourself to say, I'm going to walk in those doors? I mean, talk about that experience walking in the doors after hearing that.
It's extremely hard, because when you've been beaten down your whole life or told you can't, or you're not going to amount to anything, you hear that, you believe that, you think, well, this is my reality. I thought I was dumb. I thought I wasn't capable very much. I didn't think I was worthy of very much. I didn't feel loved. I didn't have confidence. I didn't have self-esteem. I was just, I was the kid that wanted to just put a hoodie over their face and like hide on my desk.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
Right.
So I remember pulling into the parking lot to sign up for the GD class. And I stepped out of my truck and I'm looking at the doors and I'm walking towards it and I'm thinking, why are you doing this? You're not going to get a GED. You can't.
You're going in there with your boots on and your jeans and all
Just
that, right?
boots,
You're coming from
jeans,
work. You're
from
coming,
working the
yeah,
barn.
yeah.
And I walk in the door and I'm like, well, I'm just going to try and see what it's like. So I'm greeted by Miss Angie Burrell, who's like, hey, come on in.
She's still like that.
Yes, I love her. And she introduces me to Nancy McWright and Tommy Hudson, and those three people are huge impact on my life. But still, I enrolled in the class and I just felt like I felt so dumb and embarrassed. Like, I don't know how to multiply. And I just feel like everybody knows, like I'm just walking around with like loser, on my forehead, like everybody knows that I don't know this. I'm just a lesser. Like I don't even deserve to be in this world. You just feel like the target on you. So I had a moment where I kind of like flaked out of class for a few days, and I come back in and expecting my instructor to, get on me, be tough on me. And he asked where I've been, and I said, well, I've been working. And he's like, well, we missed you, sit down. And I'm thinking, you missed me. And I felt like I wasn't learning, and I've been doing all these like multiplication sheets. He's been doing flashcards with me, just a few at a time. Like we would do like our 8s or our 6s. Well, he sat me down and talked to me, like took the time to talk to me about what was going on. Why am I feeling like I can't learn? Why am I flaking out of class? And so I told him, I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not smart enough. He pulls out the multiplication tables and he just starts going through them with me. And I answered all of them right. And that was the moment I was like, I can learn, but somebody cares about me. Because a lot of us in a GED classroom, we don't have family at home saying, you can be anything you want. You're so smart. Like most of us come from the exact opposite. People like don't care, or they don't have family, or they're just like, do whatever, or they're too focused on their own thing. Some of these students are in here on their own, just trying to get some hope that maybe they can do better with their life.
I like the way you say that's the moment that I figured out I can learn. Because I think all of our students have that in all of our programs. Right. The light bulb comes on because a teacher invests in them. I can learn. So I thought that was, because I've heard you say that before too.
It takes an instructor that cares. You just have to have that one person in your life that cares to push you, and that GED teacher and the 2 other ladies that were in that program were that. So from that moment started me wanting to learn, and to this day I haven't stopped learning things.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. You got your associates.
I did. I enrolled in college after that, almost against my will. I was like, I just want my GED so I can go to work. And Nancy McWright, Angie Burrell were like, no, you can do more than this. Give us 1 year in this business program, and if you don't like it, you can quit with a certificate. And so I think they knew that if they just got me in there, I would see I could learn even more. And so I got that. I worked 3 jobs to get through getting my associate's degree. It was really hard, sleepless nights. Just wanted to mentally break down several times, but was too tired to, because I'm taking full-time classes at Holmes and working 3 part-time jobs so I can buy gas to get back and forth and basic food. Right. I mean, starving.
Yeah, literally. And that kind of goes into something that we talk about with our students to this day, that we just need, something for those that do have transportation issues, or maybe you just need to go buy groceries, but you're, like you just said, you're having to work 3 jobs, in order just to pay bills and put food on the table and things of that nature. And so, a lot of our students are kind of in that situation now.
They are. I see a lot of it now. But I got through that. I got my associate's degree, and I took some time off from school. I'd gotten me a little bit better job working at Tractor Supply. I was in management And I loved my job, but some instructors came and were like, hey, there's a position open in the GED class for an assistant teacher. And we think you should apply. You'd be great for this. And my confidence was better, but it still wasn't where it needed to be. And I didn't see that I could do that job. I'm like, what do they see in me? Just like I felt when I started GED class. And I'm thinking, I still wear jeans and boots every day, the horses, I work at Tractor Supply, right up my alley. But it just kept weighing on my heart. I just kept feeling a pull. So I applied, do an interview, and then I get the job, and I'm like, oh my Lord, now what? And so GED class changed my life, but then getting this job also changed my life. And I'm so thankful I applied and I got this job, and I get to give back and work with people every day that were just like I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I can genuinely say, I know how you feel. I know what it feels like to feel worthless and hopeless,
Mm-hmm.
and like you can't accomplish that thing. And I just hope that people can see that if I can do it, anybody can do it. You can better your life no matter how horrible it was. Abuse, trauma. I was diagnosed with PTSD. I had suicidal thoughts as a teenager. I have struggled with a lot of mental stuff because of my childhood. And it took a lot of work, and it was hard for a few years to go through bettering myself career-wise, education-wise, but also healing mentally and emotionally so I could be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm at a point where I can say that I'm healthy and that I can help others.
Because you're married, you've got a beautiful baby boy, or
Yes.
he's 5.
He's almost 5.
Almost 5.
But he's still a baby to me.
I know they'll always be babies. I just think about how you have overcome all of those things, the depression and all of those hurdles that you had to overcome to be able to change the path, not only for yourself, okay, but you changed it for your son,
right?
But you changed it for your brother and your sister,
right? They followed along behind me, enrolled in GED programs. They both got their GED. They both went to school at Holmes. My brother got a welding certificate. My sister got a degree in architecture, and they both have good jobs and are doing well. And the statistics is that we should probably be out on the street, maybe in and out of jail, drugs, alcohol, all that
kind of is the statistic,
from what
dropouts, or those that come from, troubled homes, or, and there are people that grow up in home, regular homes that have trouble and things like that. So, our students are such a dynamic, diverse group.
We have a mixture.
We do have a mixture, don't we? Well, what kind of advice, what would you say to someone that would hear your story? I mean, what would you say after we release this out, if they're just thinking about, an adult ed program? And we say adult ed, but we mean, we're GED. If you need to go get your high school diploma, what would you say to them?
I would say that that's the first step. Just don't give up. Don't quit. I mean, when I was in GED class, a bachelor's degree was not on my mind. An associate's degree was not on my mind. But, it just looks like impossible. I can't do this. I'm not going to make more than, a few bucks an hour. Just don't quit. The time is going to pass. So you can just sit around and let life decide where you end up and be another statistic. Or you can do the hard work, because it's going to be hard either way, to get better. And you're going to be so glad that you enrolled in that program, that you did the hard work, that you got the GED, that you got the better job, technical certificate, and a degree, whatever that looks like for you. I believe in college, but college may not be for everybody. There's tons of other things you can go into and get a trade in just a few weeks.
Right.
But, people don't know about those things. They don't know about the GED class, the impact that it has on you.
Right.
Just me learning my multiplication tables gave me the tiny bit of the light bulb started coming on that I could learn, that gave me what I needed to see that I could finish my associate, that I could overcome the depression, the anxiety, the emotional struggles. And then same with my bachelor's degree and now getting this job at Holmes Community College. I'm the full-time adult ed instructor at the Talent Center.
So fantastic.
And, there was a point where,
You were walking in those
on
doors.
that, I'm like, am I really gonna get that? You still have the self-doubt,
Mhm.
the voices in your head, but they're not as loud anymore. And I don't know if they'll ever completely go away. You still hear those things, but they don't have as much impact.
Right,
I just kind of see it, it's just words.
right.
Those people that said those things to me, they're not here anymore. I'm an adult. I'm in charge of my life, and I'm going to be in charge of it.
Well, you've done a fantastic, phenomenal job. I heard you this morning and, hearing it again, and it always sends me in like an emotional, because you've got a fantastic story, and we have stories like that all over the state,
Yes.
and so I thank you for, being willing to speak out. I'm thankful that you're willing to do this, real quick interview today so we can put out next week so people can know more. And so as we wrap up, because I know you want to get back to Kosciuszko, and but to learn more about what we're doing in adult education across Mississippi and all of our free services, please visit our website at skillupmississippi.com, www.skillupmississippi.com.